Okay, we are in next game here. Hikaru Nakamura again. We are still in the London Chess Classics that Kramnik won, and then Hikaru and Magnus. So we are doing one of our favorite matchups here, Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura. Magnus decides to play this bishop c4. Nakamura is of course a Berlin player, so if he would do bishop b5, the Spanish that Magnus likes to play, then the Berlin would come, of course, and he might as well play the Italian because he does d3 often against the Berlin, so he might as well play the Italian. And we get the Italian. Italian is a favorite of the chess grandmasters. Like it's so many different move orders and finesses here. So like you can't, like you would need to be someone like Peter Leku who has like 70 files here with all the different move orders in chess base. But most other of the less ambitious professional players, they know some basic plans and shuffle around here because there is so many move orders here, so it's just hard to optimize. For example, this time Magnus, he tries to move around the knight. More normal is to first castle and rook e1 before he starts to move the knight, but the computer thinks it's fine to play like he does. Move the knight first. You win a tempo because sometimes it's good to have the knight, the rook on f1 instead of e1. Why? What about this one then? Okay, but I thought maybe he would need to do some trading, but he can do this one apparently now. Okay, so they do like this. Also, I would need to start the analysis here, so I get some help from the stockfish. Okay, castle. So it's good practice to play h6 before you castle, because this pin here, as I spoke about the last game with David Howell, that pin can be really annoying. So good practice to do h6 if you can before you castle. Okay, so black does bishop e6. Always hard to know, like, should white take here or should he let black take or whatever, like. But no, he doesn't take there. No one takes apparently. And for some reason it's good to move the knights to the king side to get this kinda, it's almost like symmetrical position, but white is one move ahead, so he has the time to play knight h4 before black does. So that means when black plays like this, he can go to f5. Then he takes. Then f4, yeah. Doesn't seem like white got so much, but of course he got the f4 move first, so he has some chances for some play here. I don't understand these openings very good. For some reason he doesn't want to trade now. I guess he might think about sometimes playing. Yeah, I don't get this move. That's bishop c2. Computer likes it, but I don't. Yeah, computer likes it. Look, every line here he wants to play bishop c2 sooner or later. I don't get it. Why does he want that? It doesn't look good if black trades because the knight f5 is coming then. So yeah, I don't understand that. I'm trusting Magnus and Stockfish that they have some reason. Okay, now of course white is ready to take and sack on f6 and knight h5, so it's black has to answer here with something, and he takes. That is what the computer also liked the most, and now he has to move the knight because this sack and play like this would be winning for white. Just to move the knight, and then when the knight has moved back from the center, it's time to play d4. The knight was hanging, has to defend it. Yeah, it's still an even game here. But here apparently he made a mistake. He had to play h5, which is a weird move. Okay, he has to play this one so he can get this square for the queen and still keep this pin here. Because I guess white was kind of threatening this and kick the queen to a bad square. Also this was apparently fine. Then he could meet this one with this one apparently. And then check here. Yeah, and then win here. So he has to sack back here. I see. Something like this would be a drawn endgame. Okay, so this is a threat. This is a threat, yeah, because of this pin. So let's see what happened. Yeah, now this is a big threat, yeah, because as I said, this sack here was something that was very dangerous before also, and it's still apparently very good for white to do this sack. The rooks are out of play, and this knight is also. Oh, now we see the point why Magnus played the bishop back to d1. He must have understood that the h5 square was like a key for the knight or the bishop. Let's see how Magnus finished off this game here. Okay, so this one was bad. He had to go back here. Maybe something like this. Maybe something like this, it would be fine. So yeah. Okay, I'm not really sure why this. Yeah, but I guess he has to do that so he doesn't get knight h5 with tempo. So that's the point. Yeah, now the knight comes with tempo and he can take here with check, and it's winning. So if we do the same, what's okay? He can block here with f5. I see, and he can't do this, and it's also protecting. So Nakamura had to play this one, and now he's losing here. Yeah, that knight here is just dominating. You don't want the queen this passive in such a passive defensive role either. And he gave up. What's the problem with that? Okay, then you can check here. And white is winning. Okay, so that's very nice move. It's a shame that Nakamura. It's also a very weird mistake. Like even I could see like this is a killing. It's like a killing threat, but maybe he had given up because his position was so really bad already. But yeah, a strange mistake for someone who used to be so careful as Nakamura. Like it's not hard to see that. Like you have to play queen g6 here. Okay, that's a nice positional game by Magnus. feel like I understood a little bit more here. Like it's easy to create your story afterwards. Oh, Magnus played everything according to some super plan, but probably he just made some random moves. But it worked out good together. He trade off the right pieces so he could do f4, and then when Black tried to have this one here, and when he failed to do h5 here so he could keep the pin, then this sack here that Magnus had built for all game was still too strong here. And of course here last chance was queen g6, so he could he didn't let this one here, even if this looks kind of good anyway to get it here, but apparently computer thinks this is equal. Okay, one more game from this tournament, then we see Magnus against Michael Adams. See you then.